Hi, this is James Melendez, James, a wine guy, here to talk about Pinot Noir. Now, Pinot Noir is one of these expansive subjects that I'm just going to keep doing many videos on to give it justice, because otherwise I would be just saying, I would, not even pretend to say that if I did one video, I'm done with the whole subject, because that is so inaccurate, because it's a fascinating subject. It's one that I've been in love with for quite some time. Now, Pinot Noir is just an amazing subject because there's just so many narrow geographic regions and areas that this wine grape can be produced. And I think today, like I've said about wines in general, we're drinking the best wines possible, but we're also drinking some of the best produced Pinot Noir today. And that's a really great phenomenon when you think how difficult this grape is to grow. Now, if I'm going to be producing wine in the future, I would not want to be producing Pinot Noir. Not because I don't love it or think I could make a good one or not a good one. It's just that it's just so extremely difficult to grow these grapes. And even when you are contracting and buying them, you're still wondering, how is this year's yield going to turn out? What's it going to be like? And I think that's because, a movie made it famous, which was Sideways. And yes, there were some inaccuracies in that movie, but I think the fun thing about the movie was the characterization of Pinot Noir and its sensitivities to everything, and its difficulty of growing, and it's too much heat, too much coolness, too many heat spikes, too much moisture. It succumbs to pestilence very easily. It has problems with too much sun, not enough sun. So everything that you could ever want in a problem and difficult grape to grow, it would be this one. But there's a reason that people still keep growing this grape, because it's a fascinating, wonderful grape to grow. Some writers have said this is the most romantic wine ever. Not sure if I'd go that far. It is a romantic wine, but I think many wines, if not all wines, are romantic. Now, what I find very fascinating about this, and Pinot, by the way, means pine cone in shape. And if you see the bunches of this, they're absolutely beautiful. Now, this is one wine grape, and I had a group, and I still have a wine group that I meet with occasionally. This is called Le Terroir, and I wrote this paper about 7-8 years ago. And what I was fascinated with was when I wrote this grape, or this paper, I was talking about this grape and how fascinating it was. And when I look at the subject matter, I'm like, I had a lot of points that were important to hit even back then, because when I look at the number of varietals, or actually clones, I put in my paper here, there were 46 recognized at that point, up to 1,000 today. Now that number is different. It's north of that. That's all I can say. I would say probably north of, say, 50 recognized French clones, and probably a good dozen German clones, 4 Italian clones, and probably 12 to 16, if not more, California, Oregon clones. And that's the thing about Pinot Noir. It just continues to, become something else. It has another clone to, have a different function for each grape. So all these are known by their numbers, and it's probably one of the wines, one of the varietals where you're going to really talk extensively about clone. When I taste Pinot Noir, I'm like, what are the clones that are composed in this wine? And sometimes I'm really surprised when there's just one. You're using several, and that's because you want maybe more aromatics, or more acid, or more color, or tannin structure. So there are different things that you're going to add to your tool chest, if you will, for both growing Pinot Noir grapes, and also blending when you finally create a bottle. Now, what I find very fascinating is that there are just so many regions that are growing this. Azerbaijan, you're growing this in Chile, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, of course. California, Oregon, Mexico, Slovakia, Czech Republic. So we have examples here. This is traditional Carneros. This is Visa Tui. I'm having Hartford Court here. This is Arundel Vineyard, Russian River Valley. We're having Hungarian Pinot Noir here. So these are just, and of course, the very familiar Burgundy bottle shape. So this is something that just is that very familiar silhouette. And of course, what many people consider the mothership is Burgundy itself. And those are just amazing, gorgeous wines, and often compared to, a lot of people say, oh, this is very Burgundian style, which I've always said, well, Burgundy's Burgundy, and Burgundy's not everywhere else. And you definitely have, it's a huge signature of Champagne, though not all sparkling wines in Champagne that are produced are of a Pinot Noir expression, but many of them are. There's definitely the Blanc de Blanc, which is going to have a heavy presence and only presence of just white wine, Chardonnay. So this is a fantastic study here, and I just had to do this because I have these bottles, and I thought, this is fun. I think it's a great subject, and I stumbled across this paper, and all things were pointing yes, which were do this video on Pinot Noir, and I'm going to do it again and again and again because things continue to evolve on this wondrous, beautiful grape. For more reviews, please go to jamesthewineguy.com. Please subscribe to my videos on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Vimeo. Salud.